the go live button. And there we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ask the Nanny. Tonight, we are going to be talking about um, achieving your goals, write the vision. Our special guest for tonight is Tracy Chips. Am I saying your name is not Tracy? I'm sorry. Her name
My
is
name is,
Chips.
you said it exactly right, Tracy Chip.
What? Okay, I wrote it wrong.
You did it right.
Okay, so tonight our special guest is Tracy Chips, and she's going to share with us a few tips that she has learned, and I'm going to share a few tips that I have learned to make um, your year a success. Okay, so hi, Mitches. How are you? Happy New Year. And hi, Diana. I am going to have my phone over here on the side so that I can monitor your comments and your questions. Hi, Rob. How are you? So there is a delay from the Zoom to the Facebook. So trust me, I will get to your comments and I will get to your questions. It just takes a few seconds longer than normal for us to get it on this end. So I'm going to let Tracy have the floor and introduce herself and um, tell you what she has in store for you.
Great. Good evening, everybody. Happy 2020. I hope you brought in the new year in a wonderful, beautiful way with a lot of positivity. If you haven't already started thinking about your goals for 2020, it's not too late. We're only in January 6th. It's January 6th. So you've got the month to still work and plan and pinpoint your goals. So tonight we're going to talk about what I did in 2019. I had the most successful, prosperous year that I have probably have ever had when it comes to planning goals and setting goals. And it's due to a few techniques that I use. And I was able to carry through the whole year doing this. So what we're going to talk about first is, first you need to pinpoint your goals. So you really want to think about what you envision for yourself, what you desire for yourself in the coming year. You want to be very, very intentional with what you want and desire. Once you pinpoint those goals, we're going to write them down because there is power in writing. When you write it down, you have something to go back and reference. When you write it down, you're bringing it to life. After you write it down, speak it aloud. You can speak it aloud to yourself. That's what I did. And if you're a religious person, you can pray over it, which I did.
Amen.
Amen. That's right. So I wrote it down. I spoke it aloud. I prayed over it. And I'm like, those are all really wonderful, powerful things. But I feel like I need more because I know that I'm a person that can stumble and I need to have a plan A through Z to pick me back up when I stumble or I won't succeed. So my girlfriends and I had a dinner and they did vision boards. I chose to do index cards because I can take them with me. A vision board usually is posted in your house or in your office. So you're kind of limited when you can use it, when you can look at it. But my index cards fit right in my wallet. I was able to pull them out at work, in traffic, wherever I was, to remind myself why and what I needed to stay focused on. So we had the dinner and we talked about our goals aloud and we promised each other to support one another and to check in with one another. Did you have something you wanted to say?
Yes, I just wanted to tell everyone to please share this with your groups and your nanny groups, with your friends on your page, because this is very important for all of us to be successful. We want all of us to not just think of ourselves, I'm just a nanny, I'm just this, I'm just that. No, you are more than that. You are more than what you do. And even in what you do, in order to be successful in what you do, you have to plan and strategize. Plain and
That's
simple.
exactly
So
right.
please
And
share.
these aren't just nanny goals. They can be for anyone of any walk of life, any age. whether you've tried a zillion times and you've messed up a zillion times, or if you're just starting to try to plan and strategize life goals. So what we talked about, pinpoint your goals, write them down, speak them aloud, pray over them if you're a prayer person, share them with someone that you trust, a family member, a close girlfriend, your spouse, someone that can hold you accountable, or check in and say, hey, Angela, how is your goal going? You're about 3 weeks in the new year. How are things looking? That matters. That's important. So you can decide whether you want to do index cards like I did. I highly recommend it. Or maybe you're a vision board person, and that's just fine too. And I'm also going to ask you to do something that I had never asked myself to do before. This isn't just about envisioning your goals and what you desire. If you want to be successful, you also have to pinpoint what holds you back, what makes you stop. And it's fear.
Yes.
Fear of success is a real thing. You think, wow, who would be scared to be successful?
Me.
Many of us. Yeah, absolutely. Right. And so why would we be scared to achieve goals? Or why would we be scared to set a goal of what we want? Well, we might be afraid we'll fail, of embarrassment. I've made this public. Like, I've told my friends, this is what I'm doing this year. And what if I can't achieve it? We need to find a way to get over that. You're not going to move forward if you're carrying that fear. But I take that back. We can move forward with fear, but you're going to own your fear, okay? Like, I know that I'm scared that if I do achieve this, now I have to go into something bigger. Can I do it? Yeah, I can. I'm just going to have to re-strategize through the rest of my year. And that happened to me this year.
Yes.
That really did. So I want to share a piece of that with you now. One of the things that I wrote down on my flashcard in December of 2018, looking forward into 2019, was my goal of photography. I initially wanted to use it as a stress outlet. You know how we all get bombarded with work, we kind of lose ourselves, we're catering to everyone else, but not doing something that fulfills us. And so I decided I needed that back in my life. So photography was it. But I had shared with my girlfriends, like I mentioned, in December. January came, and I saw this opportunity to enter a juried photo exhibit. And I hesitated. I'm like, no, I'm not ready. My photography's not good enough. And then I remembered that fear factor that I told myself. I'm giving myself negative talk, and I promised myself not to do that. So I went forward. I entered the exhibit. By February, I got notification that I was in. Like, I wrote my goal in December. February, I'm in my first juried exhibit. And so it kept growing and growing. So I closed out 2020 with 6 exhibits under my belt, half of those being juried. I never even dreamed it would go that far. But every time I grew, I got scared. Like, if I did this one, then I've got to do something bigger. But I took the fear with me. I used that. And also, you're going to have some haters along the way. So
Oh yeah.
So
Oh
hate
yeah.
on me. Your hate motivates me. If you tell me I can't, if you tell me I shouldn't have been in that exhibit, if you tell me mine wasn't good enough for that specific city, you make me want to try harder. So turn your haters into motivators. Remember that too.
Another thing to remember is feel the fear, but do it anyway.
Do it anyway. Do it scared. You know how Nike says, just do it. Well, just do it scared.
Yes, do it. I know when you were saying about feeling the fear, my excuse was, I stutter, and is my favorite word when I'm talking.
Um, 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 um.
That was my excuse. But the more you practice, the more you get comfortable with it, the more you come out of that fear factor, and then you have to stretch yourself again. Just like you did with all 6 of yours, you have to keep stretching yourself. You can't get to the next level if you become complacent where you are.
That is
A
exactly
lot of
right.
us are complacent right where we are. I'm good. My salary is good. I don't need to. My family's gonna be here forever. One thing can happen. Mom loses her job. Dad loses their job. What you got?
Yeah, what are you going to fall back on? But if you get yourself out of that safe little bubble of routine, that little bubble of I'm just fine where I am, I'll settle, I can be average. If you do that, you're never going to advance forward. So you're going to feel uncomfortable. And you can write down things on your index card. You can share them with your friends. You can pray over them. You can speak them aloud. But if you're not really ready to put in the footwork and be uncomfortable, like when we get off this call tonight, I have work I've got to do in order to achieve my next goal in a March exhibit. I'm going to do some work tonight. I'm tired. I have a headache. But I know that if I want to be successful, I'm going to have to be uncomfortable sometimes. And that's okay.
That's right. You have to. And I'm not, I like speaking, and it may not seem like it. I like talking to people, one on one, and I'm good with that. But when I started Ask the Nanny, I can talk to you because it's just me here. And I don't have a crowd around me to please. I don't have to do, it's just me talking to the computer. And that's the way I see it, me and the computer, or me talking to you one on one. But when I get in a crowd of people, my shyness tends to take over and I have to talk to myself. You need to get up and move. This is expected of you. That's expected of you. This is expected of you. And you said that you were going to do this. Now get busy doing it. And I have, even as I go and talk to people, I have to keep pushing myself. Okay, I don't want to approach that person. She just, the frown on her face says, no, I'm not approachable. And I'm like, okay, so what's wrong? Why are you frowning? And it usually brings about a smile. So I have to find a way to approach people who I think are not approachable in order to get what I need from them. And when I say get what I need from them, for them to talk to me and tell me what's wrong and how I can help. And yes, I'm feeling the fear because who wants to go talk to somebody who's got this frown on their face like, don't come over here, don't mess with me. Today ain't the day. Who wants to go and approach someone like that?
Right.
And I dare to do that because I know it's going to strengthen me. It's going to make me dig deeper and find what's inside of me to bring whatever I need out of that person. And perhaps I can help them with the frown, the reason they have the frown.
That's
So
right.
don't
Let's
let,
talk a little bit more about those fears that you just mentioned when you
yes,
began talking. We need something to help empower us when we feel scared. We can easily say power through it, but that's word. That's easier said than done. So I want you to choose some positive affirmations that you'll repeat to yourself when you feel yourself being fearful, or choose favorite scripture. I love the scripture in Luke that says about having faith as small as a mustard seed. Take it to the mulberry tree, you'll be replanted in the sea. That inspires me. So find a positive affirmation or scripture that speaks to you. Another thing that I do is I have 3 powerful women that I bring up in my mind when I feel weak and scared. And make sure that the people you choose kind of have something related to your goal. But my 3 women are Coco Chanel, because she like broke seams in clothes so women didn't have to wear tight finding clothes anymore. Like she dared to try something new. Frida Kahlo with her art. She wanted to be seen so badly that she went to great lengths to get the attention of Diego. And I also Vivian Mayer. She was the nanny, career nanny, who was a street photographer. She didn't become famous until after her death, but she still inspires me so much. So if you can use your affirmations, your scripture, and your influencers to bring you back up and get you excited and help you tear away that fear and keep trudging forward with your goals, that will be one thing to help you with. Another thing is just tell somebody, hey, I'm feeling scared. I've come this far in my goal, and now fear's kicking in. Your friends will have some positive things to say to you or tips to keep you going as well. Do you have any positive affirmations that are your favorite?
yes, I always, my mirror in my bathroom. Now, I don't spend as much time as you all think I do in the mirror, but I put in my bathroom because first thing in the morning, what I see, I don't turn on the TV to watch the news because the news is telling you all this bad stuff and it just floods your brain and you start your day with all this, oh, woe is me. I don't like starting my day like that because it carries over into the rest of my day, and I carry it to work with me, and I have this attitude of why am I angry? Why am I so ugh? I put them in my bathroom mirror so that I can see them the first thing in the morning. The one in the middle, it says, I can do all things. His grace is more than enough. Because of the grace that God gives us, I can do anything I want to do. And I keep repeating that to myself. One of my husband's favorite verses is, for I know the plans that I have for you, saith the Lord, plans to make you prosper. And I'm like, okay, yes, I need that. And my last,
Jeremiah 29:10.
yes, uh, great verse, bad chapter. I mean, but I also like Psalms 121. I will look to the hills from which cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord. The sun, he will not let the sun smite you by day nor the moon by night. So, in other words, he's protecting me from everything. And God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and a sound mind. Those are in the middle of my mirror so that I can read each one of them and build myself up because I know my faith, where my faith lies. A funny story when you were talking about praying over it, words have power. I was talking on the phone to my friend Kimberly Brown. Most of you all know her. She's Nanny Kim on the go.
Yes.
And I was in the store and I was craving hot tamales. And I don't know why I was craving hot tamales. I mean, candy, the little,
The little red candy.
yeah, the little red candies. I was craving it, and they didn't have any. And I was like, how in the world? And you know how they have those? I was in Walmart, and they have those big bins with the Mike and Ike's and the Whoppers and all the little boxes. They didn't even have that anywhere. And so I'm looking. I said, okay, let me go look on the candy shelf. I had been back there twice and hadn't seen any. The third time I'm walking back there, I went to the front register. I'm walking back there. I said, Lord, I said, I want this candy. I know I don't need it, but I surely want this. Help me to find some. I said that. I went back to the shelf. I started moving the boxes of candy around, and I saw something in the back. I saw this little bag, and I reached back in there and I grabbed the bag. It was a whole bag of hot tamales. I
You
looked
got
in
it.
there, and at the very back, trapped between the shelves, was a box of hot tamales. I got both of them. And I was like, and Kim started laughing at me. She said, you prayed about that? I said, I sure did. I said, nothing small. I said, it's just something that I want, something that I desire. I said, but I'm telling you, when you have faith, words have power, words can transform, words bring things about, words bring things to you. So if you're speaking negativity over yourself and you're speaking negativity to other people and you're spewing it, misery loves company. So that's all you're going to have is misery. But when you write it down, like you said, put those affirmations. I use a journal that I take with me. I have a vision board, but I have a journal with my uh, daily tasks that I need to in order to perform everything that's on my vision board. I have daily tasks that I need to do in order to get to that goal and accomplish that goal. And when I check off my daily tasks, and sometimes this may take weeks in order to achieve that goal, but if I continue to check off my daily goals and check, it's in writing, it's in front of me, I take it with me.
That's a
And
very excellent point, talking about it can take you a lot of time to get to your goal. So we each only have 24 hours a day. It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, how rich you are, how poor you are. 24 hours is what we each get. But if
right,
you can dedicate even 1% of your time each day to a goal, that's like somewhere, I'm horrible at math. It's somewhere between 15 and 20 some minutes a day towards your goal. And certainly you are worth 15 to 20 minutes to dedicate that time to you and what you want. So do that just every day. If you don't feel like I can't set goals, I don't have 3 or 4 hours to work on this. You don't have to have that much time in a day.
right.
You can get a lot done in 15 to 20 minutes.
You just
and
keep
let
chipping away at it and keep
just keep
chipping
chipping
away
away.
at it and keep chipping away at it. And pretty soon it's like that. It kind of reminds me of that owl, the Tootsie Roll Pop. How
You
many
lick.
licks does it take to get to a Tootsie Roll Pop? And he
That's
goes
right.
1, 2, 3, and he crunches it and it opens up. Well, your goals are the same way. You keep licking it and and you crunch it and it opens up and there's your goal. You have met your goal. But the object is don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't quit just because it's hard. You can do hard things.
Now, we also know that there's a lot of things in our environment that influence us whether we're successful or not. So if we have a tendency to hang out with negative people, or we have a tendency to hang out with people who are safe in their own little bubble all year long, every year, you might want to kind of steer to the right away from them for a while you're focusing on your goal. You don't have to be mean about it. You don't have to be rude. You can just say to them, hey, I might not be able to hang out as much this year. I'm spending a lot of time working on these goals. I'm still here if you need me, but I'm going to have less time for socialization. You can do it in a nice way. But I had to back off of some negative people because I'm an empath. So when I'm around people with negative energy, I soak it up. So I'm like, I can't have that in my world. So that's one technique I use. Also, you've got influencers in your neighborhood, in your city, in your workplace. There's so many influencers that you can go to and say, hey, I noticed this about you. You're always successful with this. Can you steer me in the right direction? Influencers love to influence. So that's what they're there for. So they're happy to help guide you. So take advantage of that. Also, through the rest of January, you're going to have all these vision board parties and opportunities to go to conferences about like new year, new you conferences. Take advantage of those this month. It's an investment in you, the time spent and the money if it costs money. Some of them are free. Some of the vision board parties are free at libraries and such. But so what if you spend money on yourself to get yourself motivated into a new year? Excuse me. Excuse me. Someone finished their peanut butter bone.
Well, I know that if you are the smartest person in the room, then you need to change rooms because being the smartest person is not making you grow. It's making everyone else around you grow. But how do you grow? How do you personally grow if you are the smartest person in the room? If you want to grow, get around some of the influencers that Tracy was talking about. There are people in your group, people in the nanny groups, people in the that are all around you. And don't be afraid to go outside of your inner circle. In other words, I learned last year, in January of last year is when it hit me, being a nanny and being a newborn care specialist, I'm just right here in this little tunnel vision. I've got this little tunnel. This is where I'm headed. But when I realized that families have more than just a nanny, and they have more than just a newborn care specialist, they have a doula, they have um, postpartum doula, there's lactation specialists. Uh, they have all these other people around to help them through the process, including the pediatricians and all that. I expanded my circle and I
Yeah.
started learning terminology that I did not know. I started learning about, okay, so this is what you do. Well, shoot, I do that all the time. Then how can I, give me some more information because what I'm actually doing is what you're describing. I just never knew that there was a technical part to
The
it.
influencers,
Something that
yeah.
came natural to me. If it's something that has to do with your job, you need to expand your circle beyond just the nannies.
That is
If
true. You have to grow your tribe. Like I keep referencing photography, forgive me, but that was my biggest success this year. And I just keep learning from that experience. But I grew a tribe. I grew a tribe in the art community to get advice on how to properly submit my work for a juried exhibit. What's the proper way to sign photography? what do they expect of me when I go to the artist reception? What am I supposed to say to people? What if I don't know the questions they ask me about my work? Like, I grew a tribe in the art community, and you grew a tribe too.
Right. And your tribe is very important. And you can have more than one.
Absolutely.
There's more to you than just, like I said, what you do. And streams of income. More streams of income. The more talent you pull out of yourself, the more streams of income. But don't overwhelm yourself. That's first. Make sure that you can handle where you are, and then add a little bit at a time. Don't just say, oh, well, I can do this and I can do that and I can do this and I can do that. But having more than one stream of income. So when mom boss or dad boss comes home and says, oh, grandma's coming to stay, so she's gonna take over your duties. Or dad boss lost his job, so we're cutting your salary in half, we're cutting your hours in half, and you're like, okay, so I can't find a family overnight. Well, you have this other stream of income that's coming in that helps to supplement what you're not getting.
It's
I work
interesting when you
I'm
start
sorry.
achieving. Is that you or me?
Go
When
ahead.
you start achieving some of the goals that you've set for yourself, you're going to start seeing talent and skill sets in you that you didn't know you have. And so then you're going to start setting even more goals. It is amazing to, like, watching someone else achieve their goals and seeing things bloom in them that you didn't know was there and they didn't know was there. It's a celebration. I want everyone to try, like we talked about. You find out who your haters are when you start becoming successful or when you start achieving goals, whether you've lost a lot of weight, whether you're getting in exhibits, whether you've met, like, my goal to make 100 grand a year, like whatever it is, people will start falling off the wayside, or people find it hard to say, congratulations, you're doing great, or I'm enjoying seeing you win in this life. Try really, really hard not to be that person. Try really hard to be the friend that says, I'm proud of you, or I see your growth. I know this hasn't been easy, but you've been working hard. Try not to be the person that's envious and jealous and bitter, and be
Right.
a supporter, because when you're successful, your friends are successful. When you start building these tribes of successful people, you want to bring your friends with you. You don't want to leave them behind.
Exactly. Exactly. When you What you put out is what you receive. It,
Amen.
it goes back to when I say, if you're talking negative, and I learned who my haters were. Some of them, I take that back. Some of them, because some people will come and smile in your face and hate you behind your back. But it will come to the light if if you have a sense of discernment. And that is very important to me personally, because it steers me in the right direction. And I'll be like, oh, I want to ask so and so to do this. And it's like, and you talk to them, you kind of get that little, I don't know, it's just that little inkling that says, this is not the right person for you. This is not, don't even ask that question. Just keep on with the conversation, but don't go there. And usually, somewhere down the line, it'll come back. And during that time you were having that conversation, something was going on behind the scenes, and it comes back to me. And I'm like, wow, I'm so glad I didn't ask that question. I'm so glad,
Right.
because this person was not for you. Everybody that's rowing in your boat ain't rowing the right way. Some of them are pulling the stopper out, got their life jacket on, pulling the stopper out of the boat, waiting on you to sink. And you're like, hey, yeah, come on. You're rowing forward and they're swinging backwards and pulling the stopper out. Okay. And the next thing you know, they're gone and you sinking.
That's
Everybody
right.
in your boat is not rowing with you. Some are
So,
rowing against you, but
against you,
they
but they make you stronger if you're going down
yes,
the road.
it makes you
Um,
more determined.
so I can't see from my screen, but do you have anybody that's willing to share what their goals for 2020 are, and if they need any help in finding ways to to find the
Okay.
right route to succeed their goals?
We have a lot of people that are watching. Um, let's see, Austin. Hello, Austin, and
Hi,
Sherry,
Austin. Hey,
and
Sherry.
Gloria, and Janet. Oh, Janet says hello. Hi, Janet. Nikki and Mariposa. Okay, I think that's how you pronounce your name. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Casey and
Does
let's
anybody want to share their goals for
Does
2020
anybody
or
want
one
to share
goal?
your goals? Anybody want to share your goals for 2020? Um, Tracy Herman is watching. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Gloria. Hi, Lucretia. And hello, Darlene and Will. And let's see. Hi, Nanny Kim. Hi, Toya. That's my sister. That's my girl. That's one of my
Oh,
She is one of my, I can go to her, between her and Chevelle and Kim and Patsy. I can go to them and say, look, I have this crazy idea. I want to do this or I want to do that. And they'll look and they'll either call me on Messenger and we'll do video. Girl, what is wrong with you? Are you serious? No, I don't see this is going to go this way, and somebody's going to say this, and somebody's going to say that. And I don't think about that. I think about, oh, this is a great idea. Let me do this. But they are on the outside looking in. I'm on the inside trying to, look out. And I don't see what's out there. And they're in different,
right.
and because they're in different regions of the country, they can say, well, from my point of view, this is not going to work in this part. Well, from my point of view, this is not going to work in this part. Well, from my point of view, this I have a lot of friends that I depend upon, and Glenda Probst is one of them, and
Yeah.
I call her my angel here on earth because she will send me a message and tell me, yeah, I think you should do this, or no, you shouldn't do that. I saw this and I thought about you, and it gives me ideas. And I don't know how she knows, but it's like right at the point when I need it.
Because she's your angel. That's why.
She sent me to you right before I was typing to you. She was like, "You need to get Tracy," and I'm like, "I'm on it already." If
She's
you
amazing.
have those people in your community who can have a different point of view for your ideas, but make sure they are people that you trust and that are not going to steal your ideas and use them as their own, because that is so 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 important. Because at one point I was helping someone and I showed them my portfolio. I showed them I helped them create a portfolio, showed them my business card, showed them everything. This is what we're going to do, because I was going to work with her on a job. But as it turned out, we get to the job and I'm looking for these pictures that I had. I'm like, where did I put those pictures? She opens her portfolio. My pictures are in her portfolio. Her business cards are exactly like mine, minus my name. Her
You are kidding. That
portfolio
was
looks
beautiful.
exactly like mine, minus my name. She had in there things that she has never done, but it looked good in my portfolio. The bad part about it was that they called her out on it. We went to the interview and she just kept talking. They asked me questions and she'd jump in and jump in and jump in. And I'm thinking to myself, this is my interview that I invited you to, and I'm trying to get you above the pay grade that you're in now. Because she was the one who told me, "Oh, you're not gonna make that much. They're not gonna pay you all that money. They're not gonna do this." Not when I left there, they told me, "Yes, this is how much I charge. This is that." I gave them the contract and everything. Her contract looked exactly like mine.
So that is an excellent example of being cautious who you share your
Yeah,
ideas, your goals, the details of your work with.
yeah,
Wow. I'm so sorry that happened to you, but it is a good lesson for us all
it
to
is,
remember that. You
and
have to go
it
to
taught
people you
me.
trust.
It
I
taught.
really like going to elders. So I found an elder in my community that was a photographer. and she shared with me about her first solo exhibit in the she was in her 20s, and it was in the 1960s. And times change, things
Wow.
change, but some things stay the same. And she kind of guided me along in what to expect and how to get there. And it's great talking to our elders.
Yes. Well, that's one thing that I like doing is talking to people who have already traveled the road I'm trying to get to.
Mhm.
And they will advise me, you be careful of this, watch out for this pitfall, watch out, don't go over that edge. It's deadly rocks over that edge, don't fall off the cliff. You know, steer, go right, go to the stop sign and make a left. Don't go right because that's the wrong direction. If you go the wrong direction, it's no outlet. So you're gonna have a rough time getting back up out of there. So when we go to people who have already traveled the roads that we have traveled, that they've already traveled the road that we're trying to travel, it's much easier. Now we have the ultimate decision to make as to whether we want to follow their advice,
True.
but most of the time when they are trying to help you, I listen, because especially if it's people that I trust and that I know, and I just get this, spirit of discernment. This is what you need to do. This is where you need to be, and I trust them and I follow those roads. I follow that guide that they give me. And most of the time, I mean, when I say most of the time, I mean like 99% of the time. I think the 1% was when I made a wrong turn and I had to hurry up and scurry back out of there. I went the wrong way. But they are very helpful. And
They
it saved me a lot of heartache. It saves me a lot of frustration. It saves me a lot of I got this on my goals, and they just gave me an idea that gets me to my accomplishing my goal a whole lot quicker than the route that I was going to take. So why go all the way around the block when you can just go straight forward and get there quicker?
That's right. You made me think of another thing that I really want to talk to people about when you start your goals. We start our goals in January because it's the new year and things are fresh and things are clean and it's an exciting new start. But we also start with these goals during the time of year where people suffer the wintertime blues and seasonal depression. And that is real, and that will halt you and stop you in your tracks. So as you're taking time to pinpoint your goals for 2020 and you're pinpointing your fears, I also want you to pinpoint whether you've ever suffered seasonal depression or the wintertime blues before or not. I want you to pinpoint some things that you will use to counteract that depression or wintertime blues if it hits you. Whether you love music and you decide that you're going to a concert this winter, or you're going to have a cocktail party at your house, or you're going to run a 5K, whatever it is that will uplift you. I want you to be able to have something that will bring you back up and lift your spirit so you can continue with your goal setting. Because in the past, I've started out with some goals and I got the wintertime blues and I thought, oh, I already messed up. Might as well just wait till the next year. And that is not the thing to do. That is a very bad idea.
Right.
So yeah, make sure that when you're doing this homework I'm giving you, I'm going to recap it in a minute, because once you dedicate yourself to some goals for 2020, I want you to inbox me. I kind of want to hear what you're doing. And you don't have to share every little detail. So you don't have to give me your secret. But I would love to be able to support you or check in with you from time to time throughout the year. Or because I've met all these new people this year, if I know someone who could be helpful to you in your goals, I'll connect you.
Exactly. That was one of the things that I wanted to talk about is making new connections. And I talked about it before, but one of my goals on my I made in December of 2017, I made a vision board. It was for 5 years. Your goals
Wow.
don't have to be a 5 year goal. I started with a 5 year goal because that was what I was taught. The last vision board place, party that I went to. So start with 5 year goals and then break them down into into yearly goals, and then monthly goals and then weekly goals and then daily goals so that you can see how far and you can write them down. Okay, this goal is accomplished, and you can go and check it off on your board on the day that you have accomplished this goal. And you can go back and look at your notes and see how you got there and what goals you accomplished to get there. So when I went and did my board, I started at 5 years. And one of my goals was to be I said Facebook Live connector of nannies.
Hey, here you are.
How I was going to do it, I just knew that I wanted to start. And so when I started asking, I need um, baby somebody who is professional and who has baby led weaning and go. And people say, oh well, this person has it, this person is she's good and she does this and she does that. Every time I ask for someone, I go and I talk to all those people I connect with them. And they'll either say yes or no, or I can't do it this time, but maybe we can come back the next time. Okay, well, sure. When I come back around to this subject, what else do you specialize in? That's what I ask. If it's not just baby led, I want to know what else do you specialize in? Because I may not be able to use you for the baby led winning segment, but if you specialize in photography, nanny photography, okay, then hey, let's plan for nanny photography. I plan a show around that. Okay. And it gives me ideas. I have made a connection and I can come back to that person. And then once we do Ask the Nanny and we get off of Ask the Nanny, I found out so much more about this person just by chatting with them. And then it's well, if you know somebody who needs, and yes, I know somebody who needs your services, and I connect them with someone else because that's someone that somebody else sent to me. I write it down. So and so does this, and so does that, and I looked through my book, and I was like, okay, so I need to connect this person with that person because she's looking for something and she has what she needs. So I connect them and introduce them over Messenger or in an email and say, you all need to get together. And that's how I started connecting. And now I get requests. Okay, so do you know somebody who does this? Do you know somebody who does that? And I'm like, sure I do. And if I don't, okay, I'll put out the word. And
Right.
sure enough,
It's like a
people,
domino effect of success.
yes. And it's people that I know, and I put it out there, and they're like, okay, so let me uh, type in, okay, I found somebody for you. Here you go. Bam. And that's how I became the connector of nannies. And now it's not just the connector of nannies, but doulas and newborn care specialists and the birthing partners and all this other stuff. And I love it because I it makes me feel helpful, makes me feel like I'm giving back to my community. It makes me happy when I see someone else succeed and when they get what they need and someone that's good and that's going to advise them and take them to the next level. I want all of my nanny sisters and nanny brothers to get to the next level. And if I can do anything to help them get to the next level, that's what I'm here for. That's why I started Ask the Nanny to help empower, to help elevate, to educate, and to encourage you keep moving, keep doing what you do. And if you have all these special side gigs that you do, all the more reason to keep going. And if I know somebody, oh, she does that too. Hold on, let me hook you all up together. Maybe you all can collaborate. That was one of the things I wanted to do. I wanted to collaborate with different businesses. I'm doing that too. I wanted to do podcasts. I've done podcasts. I wanted to do travel and do workshops. I've traveled and done workshops. My 5 year board has three things on
You
it.
really
I had I wanted to do five, but I have my notebooks and I have my little journals. I call them notebooks. They're journals that I write in every day. Okay, so this person, how am I going to get from point A to point B? Okay, I don't know anybody, so let me find some people that I've connected with. So it is so important that you make connections, even if that connection is not the right person that you need, or they can't help you at the moment. They probably know somebody else who can help you. And because you have reached out to that person, they can find somebody. Let me help you. Let me find this person. Let me find this person. And I have people telling me all the time, you need to bring this person on your show. You need to do this. And I try to connect with them, but sometimes they reach back out to me, sometimes they don't.
Sometimes
And
they don't, and that's okay.
that's okay.
It sounds like you've been very, very successful in connecting, but you you had your vision board and your
Right.
personality. You said you're shy sometimes, but I'm kind of having trouble believing that. I think you're pretty outgoing. But what
You
about
don't know
our
the inner
friends?
turmoil that goes into my head. I'm very analytical, so I have to analyze it and take it to the nth degree of scenarios. And most of the times, those scenarios don't even happen. But I take it there anyway. So if this happens, I'm gonna say this. If that happens, I'm gonna say that. If this happens, I'm gonna do this. And none of that ever happens.
No, you think too much.
Right.
So we know about you and how you're really, really great at connecting with people and making connections with other people. But what about our nanny and nanny friends that are watching? Some of us go from work to grocery store to home, home to dog park to work, and our circles are small. So we think it's really hard to put ourselves out there. It doesn't always have to be a face to face putting yourself out there. I'll
Right.
tell you what happened to me just yesterday. We're having a crisis in our city here in North Carolina with some people in public housing being exposed to carbon monoxide. And it's on the national news. You may know about it. But yesterday, I made a private message on Facebook to a government official who represents the state of North Carolina about what was going on in our city. And I just explained to him, I'm a nanny and a newborn care specialist, and 2 children have died in our city, and how can we help? And are you on this? Are you paying attention? And he said, yes, I am paying attention. And he gave me lots of information that I didn't know. But the thing that happened out of that is he said, I just want to throw this out there to you, but the main topic for today is our neighbors in crisis. But he said, my wife and I are expecting a baby, so once we get everyone settled in the crisis in the city, can we talk about nannies and newborn care specialists? I was like,
See?
yeah,
You don't put
right.
yourself out there, you never know.
You never know.
That's
You
what I'm
never know.
talking about. It's
Yeah,
those
he was
connections.
very respectful to stay on the topic of the crisis though. So I'm giving him
Right.
lots of points for that. So I will definitely reach out to him when it's time to talk baby talk.
Yes, yes. See, you never know who you're going to run into and who needs what and who friends that need different things. It is so important that you put yourself out there. Follow your instincts. Follow
Exactly.
your
And it's hard
instincts.
for us a lot in our profession
Yes,
to do that. But
because
my
we
point of that is
so
saying
much.
we're kind of locked in at work. Sometimes we don't always get as much social as we like. But the point of me telling you that was reach out to someone's inbox. So what if they don't respond? You put yourself out there, you tried. Comment on something on Facebook. If you've got a fitness goal and you see somebody really rocking it out, send them encouragement or ask them, would you be willing to talk to me in a private message? Like, use your resources in this day of technology. There's so many ways even to reach out to famous people, you know
Right,
so use what you can. This is the age of technology, and things are a lot easier.
right. And sometimes your social circles consist of the nannies, and you go out with the nannies. But I have gone to grocery stores or gone to, just going shopping, and I see cute little babies, and I can't resist the cute little babies. I'm like, oh, they're so cute. How old is your baby? And they're looking at me. I said, I work with babies every day. I'm a newborn care specialist. Oh, and then they start talking, and you never know. You find out information. You can help people that you don't even know that you're helping just by being friendly at the grocery store. everybody has to eat. Everybody has to, you go into to Target or to Walmart or to uh, what is it, Whole Foods or Kroger or wherever grocery store you shop at. And, because I just have this thing that, I walk by a baby and I smile and they smile at me and they start waving. Hi. We were in IKEA this past weekend and this little girl, she's like, yum. I said, is it good? And the mom kind of looks crazy at me. She said, yes, I got yum yums. I said, oh, you do. I said, you have some good yum yum drink to go with it? She said, yeah, some yummy water. I said, yeah, that's water is a good thing. She said, yeah, it's so yummy. And I said, yeah, it is so yummy. But the mom was so impressed that she looked at me and my husband said, she works with kids every day. So, and the little girl was like, bye bye. I was walking past. I said, bye bye. She said, have a good day. Just like
That's
throw that.
sweet.
And I was just like, and we saw them again down at the register. And the little girl said, there she is, Mama, there she is.
So you made that connection. You could have just you hand her your business card too, and she may have taken you up
Right.
on something.
Right.
I want to talk to you about these index cards again with your
Okay.
goals.
Okay.
So I was telling you a lot of success I had in 2019, but I already knocked one out of the ballpark in 2020, and we're on day 6, right? One of my goals for 2020 was under finances. I'm cool with everything. Not like I miss a beat on mortgage or anything like that, but I have areas that I spend more money than I should. I should be putting that into savings. And one of the areas that I spend a lot of money on, and anybody who's Facebook friends with me knows this, I spend a lot of money on going to concerts. Local artists, international artists, I spend money every single month going to music. So I was thinking, how can I reduce the cost of going to concerts, but still feel my passion for music? And so I guess it was like January 3rd or something. I was at a supper club where they were playing music, and I noticed a need they had, and that was a need for an announcer to greet the band, introduce the bands and greet the guests of the evening. They were using their waiter to leave his guests and go up on stage to make announcements. And I'm like, he's doing a good job, but this isn't smooth. So while I was sitting in the supper club, I went on Facebook, messaged the owner of the club and said, everything's great here. Food's great. Music's great. The workers are great. But I'm noticing this. And if you have a need for someone, I would love to be your someone. And the next day I had a message back from him. We would love to have you as part of our community at the supper club. So I start my job on Friday. I get 4 free concerts a month plus dinner. So there, I just solved one problem I had under finance by day 6. So I'm pretty proud of that. But I had to be bold enough to ask, like, what was the worst he could say? No. What was the worst he could do? Not respond.
Right.
Or say, we don't think you're appropriate for this. And I can handle any of those. So, but he didn't. He said yes.
But
so
you
please,
you asked.
Yeah, put myself out there.
I was reading a book today about it's called Draw the Circle. And today's message was God doesn't answer. God doesn't answer 100% of the prayers that you don't ask, that you don't pray. In other words, how can I answer your prayer if you don't open your mouth?
Right.
When you open your mouth, if you ask, he says, seek and you shall find, ask. If you don't ask, how can I answer you if you don't ask? So if you're not bold enough to ask, and me with little things, just like I said, the little hot tamales. I wanted the hot tamales. Okay, Lord, I want the hot tamales. It was not, to me, it was not one of those big things that, that's important, like you wanted the concerts, but it was a little thing that I wanted. And I asked, and God answers the little things and the big things.
And the
So
big
don't be
thing.
afraid to ask. If you're asking someone for something, be prepared for the no. And I think that's what keeps us bound is because we don't want that rejection.
Rejection, we're afraid of it.
We
But
don't want, we're afraid, and that's a fear factor. So if you are afraid of rejection, like I used to be, it is start asking little things to get you prepared for that no. If you already know it's going to be a no, still ask anyway
yeah, but
because
what's a
it
no?
helps
It's
you
not
to get past that.
a no. I remember feeling this way. I didn't want to hear no and I didn't want to hear rejection. But what's going to happen? It isn't going to affect your health. It's not going to kill you. It's not going to squash your dreams. You might feel a little uncomfortable for a few minutes, then you move on. Go somewhere else and
Right.
ask. Yeah.
That's
So
right.
we only have a few more minutes left. So I want to recap what I have
Okay.
this little homework. If anybody's willing to do the homework and share with me about pinpointing your goals for 2020, just clear your mind, envision you living your best life. What is it that you want? So pinpoint your goals, pinpoint your fears, and a way to retaliate against those fears, or be willing to trudge through, like just do it with fear.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have some positive affirmations chosen. You're going to have some scripture chosen if you're religious. You're going to have some role models, whether they're people in your community, people in your family, people who are famous artists or famous financial gurus. Have some people that you envision when you start feeling tired and like, I need a little inspiration. And share them with me. I want to be your cheerleader. I want to cheer you on through your goals, whether it's health and fitness, finance,
Mm-hmm.
a new hobby, whatever it is. I want to know. Share with me. You can hit me in my inbox.
Yes. And find an accountability partner. I
Yes,
know
yes,
that's
yes.
easier said than done, but find someone, a friend who you can share your goals with and share your fears with and share them and they encourage you. Okay, so what are we going to do to get over this fear? What are we going to do? How can we? Okay, I'll go with you. I'll stand by you. I'll hold your hand while we can go through this together. We can do it together. Someone who is going to encourage you to feel the fear and do it anyway. Someone who's going to encourage you when those wintertime blues hit you. I used to live in Alaska, and it is very depressing being
Ooh,
in nighttime almost 24 hours a day for like 3 months. It
no,
is very depressing.
it
So
would be hard
when
for me
you
to
get to
cry.
those hard points, have someone that you can reach out to. Have more than one person that you can reach out to because sometimes the person that you want to reach out to, your accountability partner, they get down too and they need help too.
They
So
need help too.
be prepared to not only have someone to encourage you, but you encourage someone else. And if you
Be
know
help.
if someone crosses your mind, check on them.
So here's what I recommend. When you said check on them, this is what I want you to do. I want you, after you've set your goals and you've started your plan, I want you to do a 3 month check, a 6 month check, and a 9 month check. That means, am I staying on track? What do I need to change? Where haven't I moved enough? Do I need to reroute? And then as you go along the months, I want you to celebrate even the tiniest little little advancement.
Mhm.
Every little progress forward needs celebrated. So it encourages you to keep moving. So 3 month check, 6 month check, 9 month check. Then at the 12-month check, you just get a look back at all the success you've made. Looking back on the year is exciting. You're going to find so many changes happening within and the people you meet and just so much.
And that's a good reason to write it down and to check it off because that way at the end of the year at your 12-month check you can go back and say wow, I accomplished a lot this year. I didn't realize I've
Right?
done all of this. And don't take it all in one big chunk. Make little goals to meet. If you're not the type of person where you can take on something big, break it down into little goals. If it's a monthly goal, if it's a weekly goal, if it's a daily goal, just even the daily goals, I am going to get this form filled out and turned in today. It, one little form. If that's your daily goal, fill it out, turn it in.
That's right. That is
It's,
excellent, excellent advice, because some of us get very overwhelmed looking at the whole big picture, this whole big goal. Chop it down, just like you described. This is today's goal. This is what I have to have done by Wednesday. Like I'm getting ready to do as soon as we sign off. I have a goal I have to check off the list for the day. But yeah, that's excellent advice. It keeps it less overwhelming and more manageable.
okay, we have some comments from Glenda. Glenda says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and for God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and self-control." She also said, as Tracy said earlier, ask yourself, what is the worst thing that could happen if you ask? And Mitcha said, I love all these ideas.
Thank
And
you.
Uh, oh, and Glenda said earlier, she said, you are more than just a nanny. That is so, 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 so true. You are more than just a nanny.
Or just an
And
accountant or just a fireman. We're more than our occupation.
right, you are more than all of that. And thank you, everyone who joined us tonight. I didn't get to say hello to everyone, but thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us. Um, and Tracy, tell us where your exhibit is going.
Oh,
I know you have one coming
oh,
up.
I do. I have an exhibit that started today at Rex Heart and Vascular Center in Raleigh, and that will be going on for 3 months. And I also have an exhibit that's currently up at Dirty Bull in Durham, North Carolina, that's up for the month of January. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome. Now,
Thanks.
all of you all in those cities are close by, are planning on visiting, please go and visit and check out her artwork. Check out artwork, her photography. That's what she
Photography
does.
is art.
But
And you can follow me on Instagram at Beauty and Bulk, because I highlight the beauty in the Bull City. So it's Beauty and Bulk on Instagram.
okay, so when we get done, can you put in the comments on Facebook in this particular segment on this Facebook Live? Can you put your information on there where we can follow you on Facebook, follow you on Instagram, and the information of where your exhibits are, so that we can come and look and perhaps purchase some of your
That's
artwork.
right.
That's right.
That's
And
everything for purchase.
and if you are looking for her on Facebook, want to become friends with her, so you all can be accountability partners, and she can help to encourage you. Please look her up on Facebook. I will tag her in the Facebook live as soon as I get done. If Facebook hasn't already done it, I will tag her so that you can get in contact with her. You can get in contact with me if you haven't already. Go by and like the Ask the Nanny page, and you can also do Ask the Nanny archives on my YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is the Third Parent Academy. It's spelled just like that, the Third Parent Academy. That's my YouTube channel. So you can go there, and while you're there, subscribe to the YouTube channel. So you can get all the archives from the past 2 years, and see how Ask the Nanny has grown, and see how many goals that we have accomplished. And this year, we are going deep. Just letting you know, that's my goal for Ask the Nanny. We're going deep. We're going into it. So expect some new things, some new segments from Ask the Nanny. And thank you, Tracy. Thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for
Thanks for having me. And thank you, Glenda,
everything.
for connecting. See, it's those connections.
And oh, Nicole said it's a great Instagram, and she's also said that she's going to visit you.
Oh,
She needs to
wonderful.
visit. So
Excellent.
so thank you all again for joining us, and we will see you all next week. Next week we are doing resume writing. So I know some of you will say, well, I'm just a nanny. I don't need a resume. Yes, you do. If you want to be treated as a professional, and we are the NDWA is fighting for our rights in our profession, we need to be professional, and we need to start treating not only uh, ourselves but our profession as a profession, because people see us as just the hired help. Get a resume, show your professionalism, show what you're doing, give them a history of what you've done. You can talk to them all day long and give them your history all day long. They're not going to remember it. Put it in writing. It shows that you are professional and that you care about yourself and care about your profession, what you do as a career nanny or an NCS or whatever you are doing. Get a resume. Next week, I'm going to have some professional resume writers here, and we're going to talk about your resume. So join us next week when we talk about resumes. And that's all, folks. We'll see you
Happy
all
New
next week.
Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy 2020. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.